I rise to also speak on the report on the 2019-20 budget estimates, and following the member for Broadmeadows who referred to bringing Broadmeadows back, we certainly need a bit of help in East Gippsland just at the present time. And I want to refer to page 229 of that report, Deputy Speaker, and the reference by the Minister for Tourism of the importance of tourism, not only to Victoria, but in particularly to rural and regional Victoria. And I want to reference this because in relation to that statement that the Minister made, we're certainly on the same page. But what I want to stress today, Deputy Speaker, is that that must be backed up by some action. Now, I want to point out that, as all members of this parliament will know, the fires commenced in East Gippsland last year. That was December 29, and they ripped right through the January period and basically decimated our entire tourist season and all of our public infrastructure. We are now 5 months on from that point in time, and the public infrastructure in our very popular national parks areas is not being rebuilt. 5 months down the track. Now, I noticed that the Minister got up in Parliament yesterday on his ministerial statement, and he spoke about how works crews have been appointed to start repairing this infrastructure. Well, my polite message to the Minister is it's a bit too late, but we can't do anything about that, but they really need to get a wriggle on to get this work done. When the COVID restrictions started to lift, which was Monday, we needed this public infrastructure ready to go to welcome tourists back into our region. I'll talk about one location just as an example, a little place called Cape Conran. Beautiful spot. If you drive to Orbost, turn off down the Marlow Road and go a little bit further, it's an extremely popular area right on the coastline. The stairs down to the beach were burnt out 5 months ago. They haven't been rebuilt. There was a beautiful boardwalk around the headland known as East Cape. It's still got the police tapes up there, whatever you want, the emergency services tapes up there. Not one sod has been turned yet 5 months later in restoring that boardwalk. The disability ramp access down to the beach at Cape Conran is missing one panel that was burnt out. One panel to give disability access. 5 months later, that panel hasn't been replaced. Now, we need some help to get our economy going, to get visitors back into our region, and we need that public infrastructure built. I'll quote a gentleman from the Marlow Hotel, a good mate of mine, a fellow called Russell Bates, who's the publican. It's just only coincidence that I have a good relationship with him, Deputy Speaker. But he made the comment that when Cape Conran is open, I do well and I can employ local people. Now, having Cape Conran open to the public, in inverted commas, isn't quite good enough. We've got to have the public infrastructure rebuilt. And that can be duplicated along a lot of our little coastal estuaries and inlets and those really popular camping areas. People won't go there unless they can enjoy the full experience. So I really want the government to put some focus on this area of rebuilding those locations. At the very least, have them all finished by the September school holidays, but hopefully before. The other point I want to touch on in relation to tourism is the Minister's announcement that there will be $1.1 million for regional tourism boards to run post-COVID promotions. Now, 11 into $1.1 million means that every regional tourism board is going to get $100,000 each. We need 3 to 4 times that amount to run a decent regional tourism campaign in East Gippsland, and I would suggest that every other region of Victoria would also need that as well. Now, what we have at the moment when we turn on the telly is we've got ads promoting tourism to New South Wales. So East Gippslanders turn on their telly at night and there's ads promoting come to New South Wales. We've got our pubs open, we've got our come and play the pokies, we've got our TABs open, come and enjoy life. In Victoria, we haven't got that. And we need to be promoting our region, now that the overnight stays have been lifted, to get people back into East Gippsland. So I would really strongly encourage, one, that we get these restrictions eased in line with New South Wales to allow regional and rural tourism to have tourists to have the same experience. And secondly, and perhaps most importantly, is that the Minister provides more than $100,000 for each regional tourism board to run a decent program.